Reanudamos el viaje de los Miura. Ingrid le ha explicado a sus padres que existe una nueva moneda virtual que se llama token y que algunos establecimientos ya la utilizan para hacer transacciones y reservas. Además, parece ser que es mucho más fiable respecto a transacciones y hurtos. A Ingrid le encantaría comprar algunos tokens, pero ni Astrid ni Hans saben cómo funcionan y tienen muchísimas dudas. Hablamos del futuro del blockchain en el sector del turismo con el doctor MARC Pilkington. MARC es el fundador de Moldova Tours 2.0, un proyecto que se encuentra en la intersección entre el crecimiento turístico, el alivio de la pobreza y las tecnologías digitales. When you're ready.
So, hello everyone. Hola, ¿qué tal? This is the extent of my knowledge in Spanish, so I thank the organizers for extending the invitation to me today. I'm very happy to be in Barcelona, to be talking to you about tourism and blockchain. So my name is Marc Pilkington. I'm an associate professor of economics at the University of Burgundy in France. I'm also the founder of a tourism company called MOLDOVA Tours 2.0. A little company I created 2 years ago, and it's still a project in the making. And I'm going to tell you about, so the structure of my presentation is quite simple, a bit of background on my experience in Moldova, and then the core of the presentation, blockchain, and how this can be combined with tourism to open some new perspectives for the tourism industry, the tourism sector. Okay, so these are pictures. So my first time in Moldova was in 2013. At the time, the country was voted the least visited country in Europe, and I was thinking, why is that? Such a beautiful country, landscapes, traditions, very hospitable people, and still only 9,000 arrivals in 2013, and I was thinking, why is that? It's a post-Soviet country, so plagued by a number of socio-economic issues, but then I thought, there's potential here, and let's take a sabbatical break. So what I did from the university, and decided to go there to open a tourism company. So some pictures here about Moldova. So you, sorry, I skipped the pictures. Very, very beautiful countries, landscapes, culture, traditions. A few words on the changing patterns today in the tourism industry. Tourism flows, outflows, inflows have changed, have evolved a lot over the last decade, so empirical data have confirmed this, and emerging countries have emerged, have appeared in the rankings, and even in the top places. In fact, we can say that emerging countries, emerging economies are actually disrupting the tourism industry today. So it's a very interesting evolution. Tourism 2.0 is a concept which has been around for more than 10 years. I didn't invent anything. 2006, I think. Yes, it's a better one. This one, 2006. And basically, it's the idea that the tourism ecosystem is made of a certain number of agents, components, blocks, and these blocks, components are constantly interacting with one another. And so the idea, basically, so here you have a definition. Tourism 2.0 is the business revolution in tourism and leisure industry caused by the move to the tourism ecosystem as a platform and an attempt to understand the rules for success on that new platform. So my idea to go to Moldova, I thought if I want to boost or stimulate tourism over there, I need to combine a platform-based approach reliant on technology and try to develop new tools based on, this 2.0 approach. And then blockchain came later. So this, I want to talk to you about blockchain now. How can blockchain be used in tourism? So first, I don't have time for a crash course on blockchain because we're running out of time. But if you know about Bitcoin, and I'm sure you do, because otherwise I will not believe you if you tell me you've never heard about Bitcoin. Basically, blockchain is the underlying technology behind Bitcoin, okay? And there are a certain number of properties that I'm going to mention now, which can be very interesting for tourism. In the recent period, countries have shown an interest in blockchain technology. In Hawaii, a working group has been created to study the new trends. In Japan, and this is very important for tokens, a banking act has recognized these blockchain tokens as legal means of payment. And some companies, very famous ones such as Expedia, I don't know if anybody is working for Expedia here, have started to accept Bitcoin as payment. So this is a novelty, and it's a very interesting evolution for tourism. Now, some properties very useful for the tourism sector. First, trust. Okay, blockchain is a purveyor of trust. It's going to create a trust environment in where people who don't know each other can trust each other. So that's a big, big difference, a big, big revolution. The properties of blockchain ledgers are transparency, immutability. Immutability means that it's resistant to corruption, to fraud. It's tamper-proof. Okay, you have also distributed, decentralized, consensus-based approach, which means that there's no single point of failure. You cannot corrupt or change the ledger through only one computer. In fact, you would have to modify all the computers basically at the same time, or the nodes, we say, which is virtually impossible. Okay, so this decentralized approach is very interesting. There have been some successful experiments in tourism on the Greek island of Augustria in 2015. They introduced a parallel currency, and this, at the time, if you remember, there was a very adverse macroeconomic condition, fears of a Grexit in Greece, and people were afraid that they would be left stranded at the ATM, that they could not get some euros at the ATM. So introducing this new currency, these new tokens, would bring some reassurance, okay? And also then I will talk about the benefits here. For tourism, it can be used as a medium of exchange, crowdfunding purposes, okay? You said these tokens, Ingrid can actually launch a crowdfunding campaign at home before going on holiday. She can collect or raise these tokens, and then she will be able to spend them in the tourism sector once she is on holiday, okay? There are a lot of applications which exist. You can tie these tokens to some real-world promises in the real world. These can include excursions, tours, user-generated content. You take pictures, you make videos while you're on holiday, new tourism ideas, logos. All the tokens can actually be redeemed for something of value in the real world, which makes it very appealing. So you can introduce new currencies, virtual currencies, okay, which was done in Greece in 2015, and an initiative taken in Dubai, Smart Dubai, which is also a pioneer for blockchain technology and tourism. Gamification strategy, you can create applications on your smartphone, and the rewards will be on tokens. And these tokens will be spent afterwards in the ecosystem. Loyalty rewards, it's very important because there are some regulatory problems. Are these tokens going to be accepted or not by the local authorities? I will talk about this in my conclusion. You can go around this by using these tokens as loyalty rewards. You're familiar with the air miles, or if you're a customer of a big chain, there's always this kind of loyalty scheme to make you a loyal customer. So you can use that and turn around and then ask people to redeem these loyalty points and then afterwards to spend on more tourism services. Okay, voting system, you can create polls like small elections, vote for the best hotel in Barcelona, vote for the best restaurant. In Moldova, you have agro-pensions. So then you're going to stimulate competition, you're going to enhance efficiency, okay? You're going to promote these tourism destinations. So that's one aspect. Your loyalty programs, I was talking about it earlier. One thing with Bitcoin, if you know Bitcoin, there are very low transaction fees. You know how much we spend on fees when we make international transfers, if we want to book holidays at the other side of the world. So here with cryptocurrencies, virtual currencies, you can have very, very low booking fees. So this is going to boost the inward flows of tourists. Because in my presentation I decided to focus on digital tokens, which is the first application of blockchain technology with Bitcoin, okay? But it's not the only application. So I do not have time to go in detail because in the interest of time, but a list of further application for tourism, ticketing and booking data processing. You can reconcile these databases. You know, today airlines deal with millions of data. So with blockchain technology, actually, you can reduce the reconciliation costs, okay? There's Microsoft, which is currently working on such a project for the airline industry. Digital identity is very important to know who is traveling on the airline, okay? So you can reinforce this security with blockchain technology. Maintenance of aircraft. There are some very interesting applications with supply chain management. So you can track all the components in the supply chain to increase the security of the aircraft because you know exactly what comes from where, okay? Authenticity, labels. We have a lot of labels in tourism, okay? You can verify these labels through the blockchain. You can make them more secure, more reliable, okay? Same thing with customer reviews. You know how dependent we are today on customer reviews, but you know, like me, it's not always possible to check the truthfulness or the sincerity of these customer reviews. There are a few startups that are working on the authentication of customer reviews on the blockchain to make them extremely reliable. Okay, donations. There's a company in Japan that does that. You can donate digital currency, cryptocurrencies to conservation projects, historical sites, and then you know exactly where the money is going, how it's going to be spent. Last point, medical tourism. It's something I'm interested in Moldova. When you travel, if you fall, if you have an accident or health problem, and you need to be treated abroad, something which is very important is your electronic health records, okay? These need to be transferred abroad, but part of it is going to be private, okay? You don't want to disclose all your personal information. This, the blockchain can provide a solution here with private blockchains, you know, with a system of private key, public key, so you can still maintain the confidentiality and transfer your electronic health records abroad. This is not Moldova, this is not Spain, this is Switzerland. It's a kind of Silicon Valley in Switzerland just for blockchain. And basically what they're doing, they're accepting Bitcoin as payments, but it's an initiative that comes from the municipality. So this is going to be my conclusion, because there's this problem, the regulatory question, okay? Are municipalities going to accept these tokens as a means of payment, okay? It's a difficult question. What I think is that the initiative has to come from the grassroots level. You have to, you know, take some initiative, see how it goes, a bit what was done in Greece and in Dubai. And then if we have more and more municipalities doing the same thing, we could have some kind of emulation, mimetic behavior, and this could boost the adoption of blockchain in the tourism sector. I have a project with my company actually to launch some of these tokens in the Moldovan local ecosystem in 2019. I am still looking for tech partners, but I have a lot of ideas and potential partners. And the idea basically is to use Moldova as an experimental ground for tourism and blockchain technology. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. This is my email address if you want to get in touch with me.